Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 12th, 2020. And today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the FANG stocks make a rotation and lead the market higher yesterday. Unbelievable, because yesterday they were weak and all of a sudden they become strong. Okay, but first looking at the economic calendar of the day. So two events coming out later today, 9 a.m. this morning out of Great Britain. We have a yearly GDP number coming out and then a yearly inflation rate coming out of the United States at 3:30 South African time. When we're looking at the markets, we're watching the markets rotate again. The dollar getting stronger versus the major pairs. Well, we're seeing the Dow Jones being weak while the Nasdaq is strong. Didn't we say the opposite yesterday? Okay, so the rotation is continuing, okay? In terms of commodities, gold pretty much unchanged, and oil sells off to support-ish level. We're going to take a look at that. So in stocks, there's a rotation. The FANG stocks, the Facebook, the Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google all got stronger yesterday, while the bank stocks and the big board kind of sold off. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, which has been consistent and showing us a really nice trend upwards. It's getting stronger. Going to take a review of that as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So this is why it really pays to pay attention to technical trading, okay? It pays to pay attention to technical trading. Yes, I said that, okay? 118.90-ish level was the high. That was your resistance-ish level. And sure enough, when we got that, we sold off, okay? So we're still within our range. Now, you could say the GBP took us down. If we look at the GBP right now, it's selling off from our high of 132.85. But so far, across the board, we've gotten weaker. If we look at the Aussie dollar as well, okay, did sell off, but not as much. So this still may play catch up, okay, and give us an opportunity to trade that on the downside, okay. Looking at the USD Rand, same story, did make that turn. Remember, it's the USD Rand, not the Rand USD. So if it goes up, it means the Rand gets weaker. If it goes down, it means the Rand goes stronger, okay. So right now we bounced off of that support level, which I did mention the other day, and sure enough, that's happening. So just be aware of it, okay. We could probably bounce up until the 116-ish level, or 16-ish level, excuse me, as this continues to bounce. Now looking at gold, pretty much tapering off, not much doing here, okay, after this massive sell-off yesterday, a few days ago, okay, since Monday, this has really just been very quiet, okay, just absorbing the news until there's some sort of economic distress or political distress, and I expect gold to, start trading again, right? We had a target of 3,000 for the end of the year. It doesn't look like we're going to hit it, okay? But you never know, because the unrest of what's happening in politics and the unrest of what's happening in the economy is still standing, okay, even though that we have a vaccine. Now jumping into oil, okay, this is a beautiful fade opportunity after this rally to 43. Now we are at supportish level at this 41.35, so just be aware of it. If we do breach it, then we can definitely see ourselves back in the $40 range. Now jumping into the Nasdaq, yesterday we had that catch up, okay, it was really dead in the morning. If you look to my daily review yesterday, I say, wow, what is going on here? Okay, the Dow Jones rallies and the Nasdaq does nothing, and sure enough, it fakes us out and then breaks out the day later. Okay, we are having a little bit of a retracement here, but if you look at the tech stocks, they're all higher. Okay, looking at the Dow Jones, we kind of tapered off. We had a high of 29,500-ish level, and now we're tapering off to 29,141. Now, I do want to mention this is a supportish area. Okay, because this was an area that was contended several times in 2019, okay, as not breaking out and then breaking it and then using it again, then to break it, and then that was the spot that it was right before we tanked, okay, from the beginning of the pandemic. So this is really a very important level that we're at. And if you listen to my daily review yesterday, I also mentioned that today would be a very important day for the stocks. Need to follow through, okay? Across the board, they really need to follow through. If we look at Apple first, you saw that we did rally. That's one of the FANG stocks. Facebook also rallying above 270-ish level. Microsoft also rallying to 215. Okay, that was a resistance-ish level. So the FANG stocks were strong. What I am concerned about is that we're not going to get follow-through. Okay, I'm concerned that it's going to be touch and go, which is okay, but that just means that we have to acclimate ourselves to this new environment. Okay, one day on, one day off, right? And JP Morgan sold off yesterday to 114. If we look at some of the other big board stocks which we've been following, okay, like Pfizer, we'll see that it also sold off yesterday. Okay, if we look at that on a 1 hour chart, it sold off considerably since it's open of saying that it's come up with a vaccine. Okay, this is called filling in the gap. Okay, it hasn't fully filled in the gap because we did have a previous resistance-ish level, and it's used that as a support. Okay, this was a resistance level and then used it as support. If it did fill the gap, it would be somewhere here. I would venture to say that it's going to bounce off of this area, then actually fill in the gap. Just remember, we're still early on the game plan for the vaccine, so not really sure how successful this vaccine is, and just the markets were looking for some positive news. Okay, it could be as well, so just be aware that could possibly still be the case. So for today's trading, I do expect some follow through in the high tech stocks. That's what I'm going to be looking for. This inflation number coming out later today is very important, so that's something that I would consider before jumping into a move. Remember, the US markets only start at 4:30 South African time. So just be aware of some of the activity today as the markets kind of rotate themselves into the next stage. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.